Meghan Markle's advisors are reportedly pushing for an overhaul of her public image after she received criticism for wearing expensive jewelry during a reading of her children's book. The bench has been slated by critics over the cost of her high-end wardrobe during her latest trip to New York with Prince Harry. Royal commentator Mr.Sean said, "The biggest problem for Meghan and her advisors is how do they make her relatable to the people that they want to buy the book. That is the tricky bit." Now this particular interview on YouTube saw Meghan looking wonderful, basking in wonderful sunlight, but of course it was drawn to the fact that she was wearing a lot of expensive jewelry and an expensive watch. If you're trying to sell a book to children, that's not really relatable. Now what we can tell you is that they're going to be rebranding Meghan as something of a more warm and comfy, open, relatable author. Another example is she also put herself in trouble over the cost of her high-end wardrobe during her latest trip to New York with Prince Harry. We're not quite sure exactly what their plans are, but The Bench isn't the only children's book that she has up her sleeve. Apparently there are more. During Hasn't Meg book reading in NY, Daniela Elsa raged, "Just let that sink in for a moment." If there was ever a moment that epitomized her shedding of that former life once and for all, it was when she stepped out of a black Range Rover in New York on the weekend wearing a $10,741 outfit to meet students from a Harlem public school where 94% of students are reportedly getting free meals. Specifically, the former actor chose a $5,840 £4,288.95 cashmere coat and $1,685 £1,237.45 pants from Italian label Loro Piana to meet with children from PS 123, a school that serves 12 shelters, including 7 for women and children escaping domestic violence. Clearly, she was not worried about jammy fingers or finger paint coming into contact with the eye-wateringly expensive ensemble. Meghan and Harry rounded off their trip to New York by taking to the stage at a Global Citizen Live event in Central Park, in which they spoke to crowds about the importance of making the COVID vaccine readily available to all. Meghan Markle, 40, has been dealt flack for wearing thousands of pounds worth of clothing and jewelry during her and Prince Harry's 3-day visit to New York last week. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex stepped out in public for the first time since their daughter Lilibet was born in June to carry out a number of high-profile meetings under the banner of their non-profit organization Jewellery. It has been reported that Prince Harry and Meghan have signed a 4-book deal with Penguin Random House, although this has not been confirmed by the Sussexes. The Duchess appeared last week on the Briley Storytime YouTube channel, which is run by the publishers, and gave a reading of her poem. The book, which was originally written for Prince Harry for Father's Day and is inspired by a father's relationship with his son, has been illustrated with watercolor paintings by artist Christian Robinson. Following its publication, it reached #1 of the New York Times bestseller list for children's picture books. Before reading, the 40-year-old Duchess said, "I wrote this as a poem for my husband and our son Archie, and then turned it into a book so you could enjoy it too." For the video appearance, she wore her hair in a loose bun and donned a simple blue blouse, accessorized with gold jewelry. On her left wrist, the former actress wore the gold Cartier Tank Francaise watch that has previously belonged to her late mother-in-law Princess Diana. Its estimated value at the time of purchase was $23,000 but is now believed to be much more. She also wore a $6,900 Cartier Love bracelet and a $3,000 mini gold tennis bracelet designed by Jennifer Meyer. At the end of her reading, she told listeners, "I hope you enjoyed The Bench. I loved being able to share it with you. And now I hope you're able to go and find your own special bench, or chair, or little quiet nook. Just a place that means something to you that you can share with someone you love." This marks the second occasion Meghan has conducted a reading of her book, after she read to children at a primary school in Harlem during a trip to New York in September. The Duchess received similar criticism for her expensive outfits during the 3-day tour, as it was estimated that her clothes cost upwards of £30,000. She currently resides with Prince Harry and their 2 children in Montecito, California, after deciding to leave the royal family in 2020. In order to secure their financial independence, the couple have signed a number of lucrative deals with companies such as Netflix and Spotify, as well as partnering with an investment banking company, Ethic. Harry is also expected to release his memoir in late 2022, which will be published by Penguin Random House.